What's up, Rebel Scum? It's been a while since I have done a jumbo review, and I'm back with a jumbo review. I'm gonna have a couple jumbo reviews for you now that we're after the holidays. I caught up on my samples, and I could finally start showing you guys these things. And we're gonna start with Ahsoka. She just had her series. It was amazing. I loved it. It was a great continuation of Rebels and Clone Wars, and then some. A lot of Heir to the Empire vibes to it, which is just a great show. This is awesome. I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, this is a very popular jumbo. It's sold out on a couple of sites. It's our first jumbo to see with a dual lightsaber wielding character, so it's very exciting. And it's based on her look, I want to say, in the maybe the Mandalorian, if not her newest outing, but I want to say it's from season 2 of The Mandalorian. So you can see it's too big for me to give you a 360, and I'm not sure if you guys really care about a 360, but you can see here the artwork of Rosario Dawson wearing her little cloth robe thing, and the impression of the fire on her face is giving me vibes that she's out there when she met Mando in the forest. So I'm taking that as that's what the scene is from. And on the back, it's a little harder to make out, but I think this is within that fortress where she was battling Elizabeth Morgan in the second season there too. So I'm guessing that's where the artwork and the design is based on. But we're going to crack into this sucker and check it out. And, you know, we pull up the Hasbro one too for fun, and we'll see how it compares to that design. All right, I brought you in a little closer, but not too close because these are jumbo. That's right, these are big. As always, I keep the card backs. I don't keep the clamshells, so I take that out carefully. Quickly on the back here, as you might have seen, we got the upcoming Lando, the upcoming 8D8, and I think that was a guild member exclusive. The recently released Darth Vader Unmasked, and hopefully we'll get to that soon. The upcoming Boba Fett, the upcoming Size Noodles, and the upcoming Drippy McCool. So we're seeing all the new figures that were already announced. No surprises yet. But I think on the next jumbo I show you guys, there will be some surprises. So we'll get to that in a moment, or we'll get to that in our next review. So here she is in her packaging. We're going to pop her out of there really quick. Use my trusty sprue cutters to get around this. And looks like she is secured by the wrist. She is also secured by the ankles. So double securing of this one here. These are kind of hefty, so I get why they would want it in there so it's not falling out and jiggling around in the packaging. I'll pop her out here. And here is our Ahsoka. And quickly, I'm going to grab her accessories so I don't have to fuss with that in a minute. So I love sprue cutters for this job because you don't have to try to wedge your finger between the thing and cut it with a scissor or a knife. They have these, just this right angle on them that really just gets in there and does it. So here is our Ahsoka. So looking pretty sharp, I gotta say. I love the look they put on her here with the face, with her outfit, with her pants, all the way down to the feet with this little wedge in there, but still keeping that great Kenner aesthetic. Absolutely love that. A lot of detail on there. This one, they kept the colors simple, and I kind of think a key component of Kenner figures is not too many color applications. I mean, the most they had was maybe 4 on some of those figures, so you don't want too many. I mean, this one has a blue, this has a gray, a white, and then a silver. So, oh, and then the orange. Okay, so they went with 5 on this one. I guess some figures might have that many, but you don't want it crazy amount of colors. It's okay to reuse or just make some components like gray. Like if you recall, Boba Fett had his blades and knives just painted the same color as the pants. They didn't detail every little thing on it. So you don't want to go crazy with the color applications when you're doing a Kenner figure. So I don't see any stamp on this one. This one is stamped 2023 on the foot, but there's no stamp like your traditional stamp of you know, the year and the manufacturing location like Hong Kong or something like that. But again, this is a figure that has not existed in the Kenner line, so this is a conceptual figure basically, and they kept it in the vein of that great Kenner look, but it's never existed before, so we can't really compare it to anything. This is all newly tooled. These pants, the top, the arms, the face, everything. all newly tooled. And it's got the same articulation, the 5 points that we see with the arms, with the legs. That's the articulation you're going to see, and I'm not going to push it too much because these things don't have a great range. The head is extremely limited because of these tendrils here, keeping it from fully turning left and right, and that's to be expected with this kind of figure. Now, what I really love about it is the design here they put on the swords. So this is your classic sword design that came with the 1983 Return of the Jedi Luke and the 1980 Bespin Luke. So it was yellow, but it had these handles that were kind of rectangular, and it had these little dots on them. So this is incredibly to the aesthetic of Kenner, which I really loved about that. And not only did they give you one, they give you two, and look, one is longer than the other to signify her short sword and her long sword. So I love that detail that they put into that. And I think it really pays off here. I can't remember which hand she has her long sword in and her short sword, so I'm just going to put them in right and left, respectively, at this point. And true to the Kenner aesthetic, it's really hard to get these into her hand. That is every Kenner figure I've ever owned in the Star Wars line. I've had issues with getting weapons in the hand. So yeah, that is spot on. I love that. They keep that consistent. It's just that hard. And then sometimes you have to like wedge a weapon in because it gets too loose. It's either too loose or too tight. But you can do that with the weapons here. So great look to it. Absolutely loved how this one turned out. And I think what does it for me is the design details in the character and then the design details on the weapon. And they really kept it true to that Kenner weapon. So if Kenner did an Ahsoka figure, I think this would be pretty close to what they do. Although I think that the paint applications will be a little less. I find it hard to believe that they'd go into that much detail on the face. That's sort of the tricky thing there. They probably would have just kept it straight orange. I mean, we don't know, but that just seems like a lot of detail for Kenner to do on the face. So with the additional little design coloring. I mean, I love it on the figure, but if it would have been a little bit simpler. So while we have this here, I wanted to take a look at what was done in the retro collection from Hasbro. And they have a very similar look. It has the same sort of silver foot guards. It's got the ninja toes. It's got the silver bracelets. The color scheme is a little bit, I want to say it's a little simpler on this version. This is a smaller scale, but they too painted the face. And they too went into a little bit more detail than I would have. But what they, I think, missed out on is the lightsabers here. They have curved handles. And we did not see curved handles in the Kenner line. So they didn't keep it true to the more rectangular handle. So I think this version wins if you're going for a more Kenner-inspired look because it has that rectangular handle. So Diamond Select definitely kept that in mind when they made it. They kept it very similar to recent releases. Let me see if I can grab a yellow lightsaber I got dangling around. If you remember there was a ceremonial Luke. There was also a new Luke X-Wing pilot with removable helmet. He came with the yellow lightsaber, very similar to the Empire Strikes Back version. He also came with a blue one. I have him holding the blue one, but they put this one in there as a fun throwback to the Empire Strikes Back Luke, which had a yellow lightsaber. This is a different size. I want to say this is probably closer in size to the smaller one, but a very similar design on this one. I want to say the handles on this version are square or more square than this version. So it seems like they completely retooled the lightsaber as well, despite having two recent releases with a lightsaber like this. That was both the X-Wing pilot Luke and the ceremonial Luke. So they went with completely new lightsaber tooling, it looks like, which is pretty cool. So this is like a 100% new tooled figure, which is really cool. Particularly more value for that money because it's the same price. They didn't charge more for it. And again, it's Ahsoka, who's just awesome, and is including all these additional fun little sort of elements to it. So again, for me, what's blowing me away is that they kept that design of the lightsaber consistent here. Vice going with something more true to the actual lightsaber, which would have been fine and like a vintage collection style figure, but when you're going for a retro collection or a Kenner inspired look, you want to keep with the design of the Kenner weapons. So bravo over to that. I actually love that look on here, and I think this is another great addition to the line. We have now 3 Mandalorian figures. We have 2 versions of Mando, both Mando with his jetpack and then Mando with his I want to call it Mark I armor. And now we have Ahsoka. So we're expanding it. Although if you want to consider this Ahsoka from Ahsoka, not Ahsoka from Mando, you can do that too. But we have at least 3 characters from the Mando line, and we're just growing. And really quick, I just wanted to give you some detailed shots of her face here. As you probably couldn't see that detail from a little bit of a distance there. Although it's a jumbo, it's hard for me to get all this detail up close and still have it in frame. So I have to move things around a little bit, but you can see the character a little bit better here. And you can see that detailing I was talking about on the face here, all the way around those extra applications, but still the simple color palette for the rest of the body. And then again, here's those great rectangular handle swords that she has here, lightsabers. And with the one shorter than the other, I think really gives to the Ahsoka design aesthetic as well. And that wraps us on Ahsoka, another great addition to the growing jumbo line. If you're wondering what's up next, I'm going to do Han Concept. So I'll just give you that spoiler. So hopefully I'll get that to you guys in a couple weeks. We'll see how it gets on our schedule. We get a lot of other stuff coming too. So I'll get you guys a look at Han Concept. Really excited. It's our 3rd concept figure. There are teasers for more, and I've talked to Zach about the other ones that were kind of scheduled, so hopefully we'll see some reveals of those soon, but we have Han Concept. Then I'll get Vader Unmasked for you guys, because that's out as well. And then hopefully we have Boba Fett coming out soon from his Morak look, and then there are more coming throughout the year. Really looking forward to that Cy Snoodles band, or the Max Rebo band set with Cy Snoodles and Drippy McCool. And of course, Max Rebo, really curious on how that's going to be packaged. I'm sure everybody is after seeing that massive piano that he has as well. Don't know how they're going to do that. We just know it's going to be individual cards. They're not planning, at this point at least, a giant single packaging of the 3 of them. That would be awesome, but it would be crazy at the same time. I don't know how you ship that. So I'll look forward to that. I'm going to work on a rewind. I'll try to get one out this month before I head out to Disney. So I will try to get you guys a rewind. I have a great idea for this month. I got inspired walking through a comic store the other day. And of course, we have Rebels GumCon coming up. Don't forget about that. Get your tickets if you haven't done that yet. I'll be there. Maybe I'll do a. I am going to give some have a jumbo giveaway, so I can promise that. I don't know if I'll be able to do a jumbo review at the site. It depends on what's coming out around that time. And I'm thinking about doing a live Rebel Scum Rewind session while I'm there, and you guys can participate in it, and we'll tape it and put it up on the site, and that'd be fun. Some audience participation. So I'll come up with an idea for that one as well. So yeah, get tickets for that. It's gonna be a fun time. I mean, everything starts small. I wasn't at it, but I was told even Comic-Con started with just a couple hundred people initially before it jumped to 100,000. So everything starts small. You guys could be the part of something that could be huge for the community going forward. So, you know, it is what we make it. So yeah, please grab your tickets and join us there. It should be a good time. That's all for this time. As always, like, subscribe, and follow. There's always something new to see on Rebel Scum on a daily basis, not just our reviews, but we bring you Star Wars news. Head over to CoolToyReview for everything else, basically. You can see behind me, I got a big focus on Ghostbusters. It's an anniversary year, so I'm doing a lot of Ghostbusters reviews, and I will be throughout the year. So that will be a central focus of CTR for the rest of the year will be Ghostbusters. So tune in for that and for other reviews as well. So as always, stay vigilant, you Rebel Scum.